All right, Jason, it seems like you're ready to rock. Let's hit Monday's long balls. It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. Can you believe it? Jason's a year older, and we got headlines to get into. Probably sports are really good right now, especially for me in the upper Midwest. But the highlight of the football, the most beautiful goal of at least his Milan career, in my opinion.
In your opinion?
Christian Pulisic
he scores
hits
some
an
good
absolute
goals.
banger for
Okay.
Milan at the weekend.
Okay. I think that's a bold statement, Robert. You're saying that that's the best goal he's scored for Milan. Okay, no, it's a really good goal. I mean, it is. And there's this weird thing that we do as Americans. I don't know if it's weird. I think maybe there are other countries that are in this same boat where, something like that happens. Christian Pulisic, the best player for the U.S. men's national team, and a guy who, let's be honest, is on a track to be the best player all time. I mean, you could argue he's the most talented already. Whether his resume stacks up to a Dempsey or a Donovan is a different question, and maybe we'll do that one day. We'll have that debate. We'll talk about it. When does Christian Pulisic tick over to passing Donovan and Dempsey for the best player in American soccer history? At least, how much of his national team exploits matter for that argument. But what I'll say is this is the thing that we do. Something like that happens. And, if you are still on X, like if you're still swimming in Elon's pool, which has not been...
That pool's been getting dirty. Like
they don't clean that pool.
Trying to promote the show and gather information.
No,
it's gotten dirty.
There are gators living in that pool. Let's just be honest. But if you are still swimming in Elon's pool, it's an explosion of rah USA. We are look at our boy score a world-class goal. And again, it's simultaneously a natural response that we're going to have when an American soccer player does something like that, because, well, let's be honest, we're not a country that has a long list of world-class players, right? I've never really had one, to be honest with you. So of course we're going to be excited, but it's so thirsty, right? It feels such a desperate thing to do, to be like, oh my God, he scored this amazing goal. And then of course there's the controversy around the penalty kicks, and you mentioned De Gea, but really, come on, this is okay. This is what I understand, and maybe the chat can help me if I'm wrong here. Maybe the people watching us live. And by the way, please subscribe to the show. Have we mentioned that? Please subscribe to the show and help us out. We're trying to get to 200 very shortly. But I've heard that Theo Hernandez is one goal away from tying Maldini for the most goals by a defender at Milan.
Okay.
That's what or maybe it was passing. It was either tying or passing Maldini. And also something about Theo Hernandez's birthday. These are just things I've seen. I have not double checked. I probably should have done my research. When is Theo Hernandez's birthday? Maybe Theo Hernandez and I share a birthday. Well, that would be cool. I don't know that's the case. Let me see if I look that up. October 6th. Yesterday was his birthday. We don't share a birthday. I'm October 3rd. But Theo Hernandez's birthday was this weekend. So either he's trying to tie or pass Maldini, and it's his birthday, or it's just his birthday, and Pulisic gave Theo the opportunity to take that first penalty kick because of those facts. Which, okay, right? Like, we've seen Fonseca say that Pulisic is the dedicated penalty taker at Milan. That has been stated publicly. So if Theo Hernandez is taking a penalty and it's because it's his birthday or because of Maldini or whatever, if Pulisic is saying, here you go, Theo, take the penalty kick, sure, whatever. Obviously did not go the way that Milan wanted it to. And then the second one, Tammy Abraham takes. And there's some video bouncing around. It's very quick. It's hard to kind of understand what's happening here. But there's some video bouncing around that seems to indicate that Tammy Abraham took the penalty kick from Pulisic. Like, Pulisic was supposed to, and he did not. And obviously it did not go well for Milan again. And instead of the victory that they needed to keep pace in Serie A, to be there fighting for the top spot in the table. I mean, we don't think they're that good right now, but if they were going to, and top four is absolutely a target, right? Because that's Champions League for sure. They end up with that. Now, I don't know.
Teo
I don't know.
Hernandez definitely seemed like he had an extra level to him, good and bad in the game against Fiorentina. But Tammy Abraham, has anyone ever accused of him of making like really high-minded and intelligent decisions on the field?
No, that's part of the why he's kind of sort of like backed his way into playing at Milan. Even though Milan is a massive club, you would say that if Tammy Abraham really was what he was supposed to be, he'd still be at Chelsea. He'd be their starting striker. Like we wouldn't be talking about Nicholas Jackson. We'd be talking about Tammy Abraham. I think that's a true statement. This is what Fonseca said. Our designated penalty taker is Pulisic. I don't know why the players changed their minds. I have spoken to them and told them that this can't happen again. And I believe the numbers are something like Pulisic has converted 10 of 10 in his professional club career. I don't know that. I can't remember him missing for the United States. I don't know how many he's taken overall. That's certainly a factor here. But Tammy Abraham has missed at least a couple. He's missed at least a couple. And if you have a guy who never missed and a guy who sometimes missed, you want to go with the guy who never misses. That would be my thought. That would be my thought, Robert. I'm not a genius, but that would be my thought.
So do you think that Pulisic, had he been able to step up to the mark, that he would have beaten David De Gea, who is just like absolutely unreal? One of the strangest stories I thought in kind of top level football was the fact that De Gea went so long without a club. He finally gets a club after a year and a half or so, and he jumps into this Fiorentina side and just made just an absolute grocery list of unreal saves, including 2 penalty saves. And to be fair, like, I'm trying to remember, they weren't like the worst penalties in the world either.
Well, no, that's like, you have to give De Gea some credit. You can't take away from De Gea the penalties. I mean, okay, what I'm going to say is that De Gea is very good, but if you hit a penalty the way it should be hit, no goalkeeper in the world can save it. Yeah. The advantage lies with the taker, not with the goalkeeper. A good goalkeeper, a talented penalty-saving goalkeeper, is obviously worth his weight in gold. But you can definitely say that there are penalties no goalkeeper can save, and Christian Pulisic is known for taking those kind of penalties. And he didn't get a chance to do that, and they lost to Fiorentina. And now Fonseca is pissed, and there's discord at Milan right now. And again, some people were reading the moment where Abraham takes the ball from Pulisic and end up taking that second penalty kick as an indication of a fracture within the team.
Yeah, that brings up our final point here on Pulisic and Milan. Is Milan good enough to win anything this year?
They don't look like it, do they? They don't look like it. They have moments, but they're shaky. They certainly did not seem to be, they're certainly not in the upper echelon in terms of the Champions League. I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't already know. That's a club right now that doesn't have the talent, the horses, the ability to dictate games the way you need to be able to dictate them to win something like the Champions League.
They've scored a lot of goals, but they always seem to concede goals at the worst times.
Yeah, I mean, look, they went to Leverkusen and they didn't get embarrassed, but that game they did not ever look like they were going to win that game. And yes, it took a single goal from Boniface. It was just that beat them, but I don't think you look at that scoreline and go, I think Magnan was really good in that game. You don't look at that scoreline and go, oh, that means Milan is close to a team like Leverkusen. No, they're not. Leverkusen is miles better than Milan right now. And you look in the league, clearly there are 2 or 3 or 4 teams miles better. I'm not going to say Juventus is a perfect product right now, clearly not, but we know Inter Milan is going to be really good. And if Napoli continues to play this way under Conte, yeah, you're looking at scrapping for 4th if you're AC Milan. And Fonseca, remember, Fonseca was this close to getting sacked. This close. If he didn't beat Inter, he would probably already be gone.
So Milan sit 5 points behind the leaders in 6th place after 7 games.